Welcome back to the Suhayl the Seeking Fox podcast. I am so incredibly thrilled you're tuning in for this explainer today. We are going to dive into something that honestly feels more relevant right now than ever before. We're talking about finding lasting peace and real, tangible fruitfulness in a world that just feels constantly, overwhelmingly busy. We're going to unpack this brilliant concept that, if you really internalize it, completely redefines how we look at our time, our wealth, and honestly, our entire lives. But hey, real quick, before we jump into unraveling all of that, I have a tiny favor to ask. If you're into this kind of clear, structured learning, go ahead and hit subscribe, drop a like on this explainer, share it with someone you know, and leave a comment down below. Your engagement literally fuels this channel and helps us keep bringing you these deep dives. All right, let's get into it. We're living in this totally wild juxtaposition right now. Think about it. We have all these modern gains, right? Unprecedented technology, absolute convenience, literally endless entertainment right in our pockets. But despite all of that, look at our modern losses. We somehow have way less time, our attention spans are totally fractured, and there is this deep, widespread lack of contentment. We objectively have more stuff than any generation before us, yet we walk around feeling like we have less. So what is going on here?
Well, we've basically fallen into a giant cultural trap. We've bought into this idea that more accumulation just automatically equals more fulfillment. We operate under this completely false assumption that if we just get more, more gadgets, more money, more apps, more whatever, life is naturally going to be greater. But the reality? A person can have immense abundance. They can have everything on paper and yet feel perpetually empty inside. Sheer volume just doesn't satisfy the human heart.
So what is the missing ingredient? Enter this profound, mind-shifting concept called Barakah. Essentially, Baraka is the divinely bestowed increase in goodness, benefit, and lasting fruitfulness from what you already possess. Now, this gets misunderstood all the time. People usually just translate it as a blessing, but honestly, that's way too broad. Baraka is specific. It means something finite, something maybe even small, producing far, far greater value than its size or quantity would suggest. It's when a little bit goes a very, very long way. To really wrap our heads around this, we need to look at the etymology. The Arabic root of the word is Barakah, and originally this root conveys the idea of something firmly settling or remaining. So it's not some fleeting, temporary moment of happiness that just washes over you and disappears. No. It is a goodness that establishes itself deeply and actually endures over time. And I love this because it brings us to this ancient, super vivid metaphor derived from that exact root. It's described as the image of a camel kneeling and settling firmly on the ground. Just picture that for a second. A massive, heavy camel dropping to its knees in the desert sand, totally anchored and secure. That camel isn't going anywhere. And that is what a true blessing, true barakah, actually is. It isn't just a lot of something. It is firmly anchored in your life. It continually benefits you, stays with you, and supports you. Now, this concept of being firmly anchored isn't just some abstract, poetic idea. It actually forms a massive pattern throughout the Qur'an. It's applied to the Qur'an itself, calling it a blessed book. It's applied to specific moments in time, like the night of decree. It's applied to people, like Nuh and his companions, or Isa, Jesus, who was made blessed wherever he was. It even applies to physical locations like the land around the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And this proves something absolutely vital. This type of blessing is for sure not confined to just having a lot of money or material wealth. The absolute crucial takeaway here is this. Barakah is goodness that multiplies wherever Allah places it. It has this incredible power to transform ordinary, everyday things, like a really simple meal, a random hour of your Tuesday afternoon, or just a brief conversation with a friend, into these extraordinary sources of lasting benefit. And it does this completely regardless of the initial visible quantity of that thing. And man, this just completely flips our modern assumptions about wealth upside down, doesn't it? We instinctively think, okay, more money obviously equals more blessing. But sheer accumulation often leads to the exact opposite. You might gain incredible financial wealth, but experience zero peace in your home. You might grind to get thousands of followers online, but suddenly find yourself surrounded by way less sincerity. You could even live more years on this earth, but completely lack a meaningful life. So what this requires from us is a total paradigm shift in how we measure a successful, prosperous life. Modern culture is basically a broken record asking one metric: how much do you have? It is completely obsessed with the spreadsheet, the bottom line, the follower count.
But the metric of the Qur'an asks a profoundly different question. It asks, how much good actually comes from what you've been given? It's measuring the output, the real impact, the lasting benefit, not just the input.
Which leads us to a pretty sobering reality, if we're being honest. The opposite of Baraka is not poverty, it is emptiness. We really need to be warned against the hidden dangers of a life that's just consumed by accumulation without any real purpose. I mean, a life can look totally full on the outside, right? Packed schedule, lots of items, big bank account. But if that wealth only serves to distract you, or if you acquire all this knowledge but never actually act upon it, it's strangely unfruitful. It is, at its core, just empty.
Okay, so the big question, how do we actually invite this divine multiplication into our own lives? The answer is shukr, gratitude. There is this incredibly beautiful quote from chapter 14, verse 7, that makes the formula super clear. If you are grateful, I will surely increase you. Gratitude is the actionable catalyst here. It's the key. It basically prepares your heart to recognize the barakah that is already sitting right there in front of you. And in doing so, it opens the door to receive even more of it.
But we have to be careful about what we expect, because how does that increase actually manifest? It's fundamentally different from just getting more stuff. Notice how these divine additions change the actual quality of our lives. Allah increases the grateful with wisdom rather than just raw wealth, with deep contentment instead of just a pile of new possessions, with real impact instead of just fleeting public recognition, and with deep meaning instead of mere physical comfort. These are the actual true markers of an enriched life. Let's look at an example we can probably all relate to. Have you ever had one of those days where you were just constantly busy, like running around, putting out fires, totally exhausted, yet by the time your head hits the pillow, you feel like you accomplished absolutely nothing? That right there is an unblessed day. Now, compare that to a single blessed hour, an hour of deep focus where you just flow and create something amazing, or one blessed conversation that totally shifts your perspective. That one blessed moment accomplishes way more than an entire unblessed lifetime. Which brings us to, honestly, one of the most comforting reflections we can have today. What you already have right now can become enough. Actually, scratch that. It can become more than enough. You do not necessarily need to chase down more things to find fulfillment. The absolute richest life isn't the one with the biggest pile of stuff. It's simply the life where enduring goodness has been placed. When Baraka is present, the little bit you have just overflows with benefit.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question to chew on today. Really ask yourself how much lasting good actually flows from what you have. Take a hard look at your time, your specific skills, your current resources. Are you just hoarding and accumulating them? Or are they anchored firmly into your life, just like that kneeling camel, producing enduring, real benefit for you and everyone around you? Thank you so much for hanging out with me on the Suhayl the Seeking Fox podcast for this explainer. I really truly hope this exploration of Barakah has given you a fresh, empowering perspective on how to find peace and actual prosperity in your day-to-day life. As a quick final reminder, if you got something valuable out of this today, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really does mean the world to us, and it guarantees you won't miss our future deep dives. Until next time, stay curious and stay focused.